kid? It's Pastor Ivan, and we are here for the Meal Plan Podcast February series. And today, I got somebody special with me. I guess you could call him my dog. He is the purpose counselor for the students here at F.A.M.E. Crazy thing is, he's actually watched me grow up. And we aren't too far apart in age. And the fact that we actually are both sitting here right now, we both kind of laughing, but this is a real moment for, I think, one, to say our church, but two, for the both of us. Like, who would have thought?
Look at this. Who would have thought?
Like us, right? So I guess you're doing so much, and I don't want to try and capsulize it and be so small. So I'm going to introduce you by name, and then I'll let you tell us everything that you do. But today I have with me the purpose counselor for the F.A.M.E. students, TRAE HODGE.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
What's happening, my guy?
In the building. Well,
you're here, man.
I am here. Man.
So tell us about you, what you're doing. Tell us about the life you live in. I mean, I know, but the people don't know.
Yeah.
Before we get into today and what we're going to talk about. So, who is TRAE?
Well, I'm going to go into that. But first, I just want to say it is hilarious seeing you grow up.
I'm saying, right?
I have some moments I haven't shared with you just yet.
Hey, chill, bro.
But I'm going to leave that for another time. But like you said, my name is TRAE HODGE. I'm the purpose counselor here for F.A.M.E. Man, I'm doing a few things, man. Me and my wife, we have a business called That Kind of Media. So we're in the media world, content creators. I'm also helping out with teens ministry here at F.A.M.E. Man, just want to see teens go to that next level. I believe that each teen has something in them, a gift, a talent that God has put in them. And the only way to get it out is by digging within. So I just want to help them be able to see them for themselves, bring the best out of themselves, so they can exceed in life. Because got so much. It's so much talent and so much wealth in the teams that we work with. All teams, but especially F.A.M.E. teams.
Right. Yeah.
It's so much wealth in them. If they just get a little ounce of it, like that, they will be able to take their life to the next level.
And I think that's something collectively that we both see.
Oh yeah.
The student body is the I don't want to say opportunity because it almost sounds like we're trying to take advantage of them, but the opportunities that they have available to them.
Yeah.
And we have a 13-year-old, well, really he's 12, he's about to be 13. We were talking about entrepreneurship a couple weeks ago in class, and he walked up to me at the class and he was like, "She's not the only entrepreneur in here." And he said it with so much confidence and so much poise that I was like, me and you were standing there and I was like, oh, he's talking to me. He's like, oh yeah, he's talking to me. And so he brought his shoes in, and to hear our students and the diversity, the geniusness inside of them, and I think we've had conversations about that. When they get this, hey, we got some billionaires on our head.
And then the fact that they can build together is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Because when you have a community of people that's on the same mentality, the same goal, you can do great things.
And I think that's kind of my thing with them. I don't know why I got this open. I think it was for a look.
You didn't have to say it. You could have just,
It was for a look. You know how you be looking at stuff and it'd be like, bro, this is distracting me. There's nothing on it but a picture of the room, and it don't look like how it look on the picture right now. But I think my thing for them is making the community. Watching their generation kind of fall apart. Move away from each other, especially during COVID. That was a big thing. So I watched their generation kind of cry out during that time. And I think we kind of talked about it like, yo, this is wild. And so making it available, letting them know it's okay to be a unit, to move in cohesiveness.
Yeah.
And just showing that from leadership on the way down, even with us, as me being the head and the volunteers, with Tanisha and everybody, we all come in every Sunday willing to do something out of the ordinary to make sure that they go to the next level. And I think because they see that in us, it's like they give us everything.
Yeah.
Like, I think people would be surprised the stuff that they say to us on the day in and day out Sunday. Like,
some of the stuff be out there, but
Hey.
it's the way they think though.
we hear some of the craziest stuff. Like, I be telling some people, like, if you actually came and sat in the room with them, like, you wouldn't believe the stuff that they think about.
Yeah.
And to teach to them, you have to be sharp. Like,
Yeah, you gotta be on point.
you'll say a joke and they'll be like,
Nah.
they'll flip that joke and you'll be like, oh, I gotta come back fast.
It's been a few times where somebody said something real slick, real quick.
And
After
you
something I
just
said, I'm
gotta-
like, I'm gonna get to you later. Don't worry about it.
they, I love coming in here on Sundays.
Yeah.
Watching them do what they do, watching them play the games and stuff like that. They be cracking jokes on us. We crack jokes with them. Like, one Sunday they came in, they was like, "Oh, so you matching today, huh, Pastor Ivan?" I'm like, "Bro, what's up with y'all, bro?" Like, but I think what we do for them and what we bring to the table is something bigger, which is why I kind of want to talk about today is adjustments. Like, I don't think either one of us grew up saying we was going to be here at New Life working with the teens, saying like, yo, we trying to help them get to the next level.
So the thing was, I don't think we never said we wasn't gonna be here, but the thought of being here was never in our minds. Like, that never crossed our mind. Like, oh, we can possibly do something here at the church. Like, no, it never crossed my mind.
I think it crossed mine. I just didn't want to do it.
Well, I know why it crossed yours because you in the lineage. But for me, it was. I might come here for service, but for service, nah.
I'm coming for church.
Here for church. Yeah.
I one side of me kind of lineage, but like I didn't want to do this. Like, this is and was an adjustment for me. Like,
Yeah.
Even now, like, sometimes you know me, I be here like, if it's not for the kids, like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And when you see me in that state, you be like, leave me alone, bro. Like, but I think for me, that doesn't come from a spiritual place. That comes from a place of wanting excellence and having a level of excellence that we had. We had spiritual encounter.
Man.
And when we was going through spiritual encounter, like, to say you went to New Light Church was like, yeah. You don't go to New Light, you're a bum. Like,
yeah. I mean, just in general, like, I know I had some behind the scenes for spiritual encounter. You had all the behind the scenes, but I did stepping. So
you was in the behind the scenes, bro.
I mean,
we was in that joint, bro.
I was in it too, but like, to be able to see the excellence that was put towards it and the effort that was put towards it and like the giving that was put towards it, like, people literally wanted their teens to go to spiritual encounter for that experience.
By the way, it's coming back for 20 to 40-year-olds.
For 20 to, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
That's why I'm behind the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to have a conversation
then. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's going to have to be a conversation.
I would like to say that I think I could help my mom, convince my mom to bring that back for us. Because I feel like we need that. Like,
yeah.
That was it. Like, when it stopped, we kind of was like, what y'all doing?
Yeah. How empowering that was. It was. Yeah.
But to see that, like, I know you remember them services, like, bro, y'all would step, it would, bro, let's just start from the first day. Wednesday night, church started at 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 o'clock. It's people everywhere. Like,
yeah. That's like, and to
Yo,
be honest with you, I don't like waiting in lines. But spiritual encounter was the one
the
place,
only
even
line
to
I'm
this
waiting.
day, I would get there hours early just to get there,
The only
be in the
line
front of the line.
I'm waiting in.
Yeah, to this day, waiting in line.
I still don't have to wait in the line. And
Yeah.
It's the only line I'm waiting.
Yeah, you can ask my wife. Fast food restaurants, I ain't waiting in no line.
No,
I'm not doing it.
Matter of fact, we can pick it somewhere. We can pick somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not waiting in line, but for spiritual encounter, that was the one place that I was like,
Dude,
yo, I have to be here.
3
early.
hours, summer heat, everybody standing
Sweating.
outside, sweating.
But hey,
Like,
I'm in the front.
But bro, like the hunger. And I think because we grew up in that, it was like, nah, bro, y'all gotta get this juice, bro. Like, starting that set, bro, they would open the doors and people would run in the buildings.
I've never seen at a spiritual concert event where people running in to get in. Like, bro, you only see that in secular concerts.
Like, the only time I seen that happen again was at the Travis Scott Festival, like when they berated the fences.
Yeah.
Before that, spiritual encounter was the one place. Like, I remember going in the lobby like, Mama, they almost trampled me. Like, I had to take off running. Like, she was like, what? I'm like, bruh, bruh, I remember one year, like, we had no seats anywhere on campus. None. Every seat in the auditorium, all overflows filled, like, to the point where my mom was like, hey, you gonna go ahead and sit down there with your grandparents? And I'm like, no. I got my crew up here, like, we're good. Everybody got to sit on the front row. We need more seats. Like,
that's crazy.
To watch some of those altar call moments.
Man. No. Like, and the teens coming in droves.
Bro.
All coming up to the front.
We couldn't even feel we had to stand on the aisles because the altar was so packed. And
just think about that, like the lives that have been changed because of spiritual encounter, you can see the reflection of that in their lives now, people's lives now. Like spiritual encounter was the
adjustments that I can make today is because
of spiritual encounter. Yes, I go back to certain things that happen in spiritual encounter when I'm in certain moments, and I'm like, okay, that's something I need to change, or this is something that I need to adjust.
Do you remember like the Petty concerts and stuff like that, like the song, like, and I think I'm bringing that up because that was such a high level of excellence for us that we were like, oh, this has to continue. Like, I remember not being old enough, but only having the privilege of being there because it was my mom.
Yeah.
And still being like, yo, this is turning 13 and being like, yeah, now I'm really here. Like, everybody got to respect me as a spiritual encounter attendee. Like, you been a spiritual encounter? Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be on the front row. Yeah. You don't even know that's my mama, do you? Like, yeah, like, yeah. Spiritual encounter was a thing. And I think that was when I kind of really knew I had a call of God on my life. But I was so stuck with people telling me, you're going to be in church. And I'm like, y'all keep telling me that, bro. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
Like, anything you tell me I'm going to do,
I'm not doing
it.
Yeah. I understand. My wife's the same way. It's okay. I love you, but so.
I just don't. But even now, you know me, like, when things are going on, they're like, you gotta do this. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't fit the mold. Like, I'll talk to parents, but it's not traditional. Like,
your son is a great man of God. He's okay.
Nah, man, this kid is in here cutting up, man. He out here acting wild, bro. You need to come get him. Yeah. What he do? He out here cussing teachers out and stuff like that. I can't be having that in my classrooms. We like to be respectful. But, I feel like I'm growing in my parent interactions. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm getting there.
It takes time.
But see, it's not that I'm afraid of parents. I'm afraid of what I will say.
Of course.
And I think that's something we
Yeah.
all know. Like,
Yeah, I can see that. I
it's
can definitely see that.
it's a known thing, and it's not like it would be wrong. It might just not be what they want to hear.
Of course.
When they think they should hear it.
Because that's their baby, that's their golden child and all that stuff, and you I ain't gonna say you don't care, but you gonna give it to them straight. That's just how you are.
I don't feel like that means anything. What does that mean?
Just in general, like you're not gonna sugarcoat it to satisfy the parents. Like,
no,
you're just gonna tell them like, hey, your kid is cutting up. Like, I don't want that in my class. And parents may feel some type of way, but it's a way you do everything.
But even when they are good, like I feel like sometimes they even take me saying like they do it good, and they be like, "What's wrong with him?" I be like, "Man, I really rock with your kid." They be like, "What? I rock with your kid?" Like, I can't say the other word, but like, that's my dog. Like, I think they kind of look at me some kind of way when I be dapping them up and stuff. They be like.
They don't, because it's not traditional. Just like you said before, like you have to do it your way, and if you were to do it somebody else's way, it wouldn't be you. So adjusting to your way,
I don't feel like it'll work though.
It wouldn't, because it's not you. And
but I think that's another reason why we work, because you're like you're kind of like me, but you just don't say what I say. You like,
I think it more so.
You'll look at somebody and just smile like, I'm be like, yeah, bro, you getting on my nerves, get on my face. Like, I don't even care what you got to say.
Yeah. The dynamic is real good because I try to stay in line, in order.
I don't care.
But I think differently. I think how you, like, I think what you act. Yeah. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think what you act. So that's how it works
external. The external force.
So I think that's how this works out.
But I can say something else that I've noticed, like, and I think the teams have noticed it too, like, we kind of do the same things. Like how we go about situations, how we crack jokes, like what we say, the things we point out. Like most of the Sundays, the same things that you point out before I get up. When I see it, I'll be like, yo, he's an idiot. Like, I see exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like our combination complements the children because we don't give them boring. We don't give them, we just in church. Like, we make this an experience for them. And I think that was something for me. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was really trying to figure out, like, speaking to adjustments, starting off, like, I didn't want to do the whole service. Not that I couldn't, but that nobody wants to listen to one person talk the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I remember when you came, you was like, I think I'm and you was just looking away when you was talking to me. He was like, I'm like, Trey, you think you on what? And God talking to me, telling me he can help y'all out. I was like, he didn't bit Trey, boy, got him. And I remember when I was praying, I was like, they need somebody that can give them the energy and the passion, even though it's not me. So I remember when you said it, and he was like, just think about it. And I'm like, I don't need to think about nothing. I know what you bring to the table. He was like, no, I think about it. I was like, no, it sounds like you need to think about it some more.
That was true. I need.
And it was maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, and then you came, and I was like, just go out there and flow.
Yeah.
Do you. And I think us having the communication to talk with the freedom to be like, no, bro, do you, bro? I know what you're trying to get out of the kids. I know your intent for them. So for me, it's never like, Trey, don't go up there and say that. Do the announcements, do the offering, and then come on off. It's like, no, bro, do you? You go overtime? Okay, I'm going overtime too when I teach. Like, it's okay.
You're just flowing, yeah.
And I think it not only has it helped the students to see teamwork between Black men.
Yeah, young Black men. Yeah.
They've never seen us argue. We've never argued.
We never argued, yeah.
We never got into it. We've never had like ooh, I'm not calling TRAE today.
Yeah.
We are very in tune with each other's personal lives.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know, I remember when you told me your wife is pregnant, I was like, what? You're about to be a dad.
And in the beginning, it was that look like.
I was like,
okay.
All right, TRAE, are we happy?
Yeah.
Like, are you ready? And it was like, no, that's good. And I'm like, all right, good, yeah, TRAE.
That's actually hilarious. That's hilarious.
And then I think both of us just kind of watching each other, like, you watching me grow up, me watching, and I bet you people probably gonna think like you like 40 or something.
I would think people think I'm a lot younger, but hey,
I'm only 26. You're not even 30 yet.
Yeah, yeah.
You 30?
Yeah.
30?
Yeah.
Well,
31 this year.
30. But even at that, like, we're in two different phases of life.
Mm-hmm.
We're both doing the same things for these children. Speak, and I guess we can kind of go down to where I'm going to start talking to you more. How has it been for you to adjust from not really wanting to be in church like this to now it's like, no, TRAE is the purpose counselor. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you want to do something? Call TRAE. Don't call me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Just taking it back, that make me have to think a little bit. But I think I just got tired of doing stuff my way, trying to do it on my own, right? So you're going through life, you're going through school, you're trying to figure out your way. Like, what is my way? What is it that I want to do? And then you doing your thing for so long, and you figure out you're not getting nowhere. You're not getting exactly where you want to be. And so because of things like spiritual encounter and because of the things that I've gotten from the church, I understood that it's not about where I want to go. It's about where God wants me to go. And that took me a little minute too, to get to that point, because we always don't want to do the right things, you know. We don't want to follow God. You know, people ask you what you doing, like, you know, I'm just following God. Nobody want to hear that. Like, nobody want to say that.
I'm following God.
Yeah, I'm just following God, bro. You know,
I'm following God.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm following God. Like, we don't want to say that.
Nobody's gonna ever like really just.
Yeah. At 18, 19, 20, 21, we don't want to say that. But I just got to a point where I was so tired of my mistakes on my own doing. So really, I just have to get to a point where I was like, yo, I'm not about to mess up on my own doing no more. If I'm going to go out and do something, it's going to be on God. Like, if I mess up, God, that's on you.
Right.
You told me to go in this direction, and it's not working out. This on you. So, and then I just had to get an understanding that, number one, he'll never leave me or forsake me. He wants what's best for me if I just walk in that direction. Yeah. And so whenever it came to, I still remember the day I reached out to you, because it was a season of events that actually happened to me getting to where we are today. Yeah. I was just like, you know what? Let me just, I have something in me that I know is good for youth. Where's the best place to go? All right, let me go back home. And I reached out to you, and he was like, sure. It was so easy. It was just like, yeah, sure, come on. I was like, you sure? You want to think about it? I mean, what's the plan? He was like, no, just come what you got. So I think, to answer your question, it really just took me understanding that me trying to do what I want to do on my own thoughts ain't going to get me nowhere. It's not going to get me where I think I want to go. Only God has the best plan for me, because he knows what I want. So not only is he going to give me what I want, he's going to make sure that his kingdom is expanded through me.
And I think a part of that you don't know is that you didn't know was I was already praying for God to bring somebody in. So by the time you came, it was like, I don't need no extra affirmation.
Yeah.
When I pray, my prayers get answered. Like, so, and I think even doing that with you, like, you was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it.
That you was so calm with it. I still remember that. You was just like, yeah,
Because I trust God.
Yeah.
I've learned to trust God. Like, stress. For what?
Yeah.
When you came, I was like, why else would he come here?
That's true.
Why would you call me? I was about to ask you the question of like, okay, well, why you come home? Why I come back to New Life? Because that's home.
Mm-hmm.
Why you pick up the phone and call me? It's me. Like, and I don't mean that saying like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Ivan. Like, but we have a relationship to the point where it's like, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
You need to think about it. Think about what? I don't have nothing to think about. I told my mama, and that was it. Dr. Irish. It was like, hey, I had a conversation with TRAE. She was like, TRAE who? I'm like, Mama, TRAE Hodge. Broke it down to her. She was like, sound perfect to me. And so I think as we've grown, as you've watched me kind of do this, you've kind of watched the God in me like, oh, he know what he doing. And you still don't see me in the positions of like, I kind of take everything like that, like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Pastor Ivan, we want to, whatever, bro. Go ahead. We had some girls come in one Sunday. They wanted to do these presentations. I was like, you know what? Cut the game out. No game. 15 minutes, we're going to promote Black student women. And all three of them got the scholarship.
They didn't even get the scholarship. Okay.
We got to do another podcast so we can have them on here with us. And I told them I would, so
Yeah.
we definitely got to make that happen. But yeah, they ended up getting what they needed. And so I just trust God, man.
Yeah.
When they come to this room, these students, put myself on the front line for what? To embarrass me? Mm-mm. And I think people would take that as like, oh, he using other, like, no, like, I do this with God. I don't do this in my own way. Like, I don't have 8 months of my life planned out. So how do I have 8 months of church planned out? That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting down and praying about this. Then all for me to figure out that the curriculum that we use it for the juniors, after I made all of these series and themes, I go on to the next volume, everything lined up with what I. So that's me or God. Like,
Yeah.
How that work? I don't know them people. They don't know what I'm teaching. They don't know what's going on. Yeah, man, I trust God. Same thing. And I think that's what we make evident with our students, even as volunteers and servers. Like, you coming in, you telling them your story, Tanisha coming in, us as a student body, as volunteers, and then as adults knowing Tanisha's story is like.
I had to take Tanisha's story and be like, God, do for me as you did for her. Like, the students hearing that's a big thing. But like, just her being able to share her story with everybody, and I'm getting touched by it.
But she still be in the back of the room.
Yeah.
But she come every Sunday. She gonna bring the game. She gonna buy all the stuff for the game. She ain't ask the church for no reimbursements, none of that. Like,
yeah.
But Tanisha been doing it since she didn't have a job.
That's crazy. That's another type of faith. That's another.
I know. I told her. I said, you are like a real woman from the Bible. Like,
yeah,
you are a woman at the well. Like, you came to the well to see Jesus, and you stayed there until he showed up. And even now, like, watching her dedication, like, Tanisha making a bunch of money now.
Tanisha, how much money you make? Just let us know.
Come in a little private chat, you know what I'm saying? It's about 50-50, me, one for me, one for TRAE. Thought of something. But nah, she making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But watching her, Tanisha older than us, so we hearing that from Tanisha, we like. I remember when I told you the story, you was like, For real? I'm like, bruh.
Because I thought I was doing something, volunteering. But you saying she volunteered with no job.
Bro.
What? Yeah.
She was up here working like this was her 9 to 5.
Yeah.
She was beating me to work.
Hey, that's
I would get here at 9. She would be here at 8.
Like I said.
She would be here sometimes before me and Khalees.
That's faith.
To the point where, like, one day I showed up and I was like, Tanisha, why are you here? Like, I don't have any work for you to do. Like, go home. Take a break. Relax. Breathe. Like, she was like, no, because then I'm going to be stuck in the moment. I'm going to be thinking about it. And I was just like, okay. 9 months.
That's the time it takes for a baby to grow in the stomach. That's a long time.
Are you listening to me, bro?
That is a long time.
She volunteered at this church for 9 months.
That is a long time.
Then you look at her now and you like,
oh, okay.
I do that 9 months.
I do that time. You know?
I do that 9 months. That ain't no prison, huh? I do that. Yeah, that's just church.
Look, hey, like I said, Tanisha, let me borrow a couple dollars.
So I kind of want us to talk about it. You know, we're growing up, we're making these changes in lives. We're finding new things, doing new business ventures. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about how you're making adjustments.
Man, it's crazy that you even like.
And you got a kid.
Yeah.
I don't mean to say it like that, but you got a kid. Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I mean, and I told you this before. It's crazy that like I literally hit you, and you was like, "Oh, I was wanting you to get on a podcast, and we want to talk about adjustments." And literally, I was in the midst of making an adjustment in my life. So, just to give some context around it, I'm working at a job on contract. They laying people off. Bam, bam, bam. Come to find out, they laid off 250 people, and they still laying off people. And then they told me when my contract ends, they're not going to renew it. So not only am I out of a job, I got a family, a wife, I got a son that I still got to take care of. I got bills, right?
Real bills.
So that sounds like an adjustment needs to be made.
Yeah.
So now I'm just thinking like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And thankfully I have great people around me, a great environment, you know, with the church, with my group that I'm surrounding myself with. Instead of going so crazy on what do I need to do, it went to what does he want me to do? Mm-hmm. So it had me to sit back and get quiet for a moment and really listen to what God is wanting me to do. What adjustments does he want me to make? Because like I said in the beginning, I can do what I want to do, but how is that going to turn out? How did it turn out for me in the past? Yeah. So let me do it this route. Let's see what God wants me to do. Mm-hmm. Now he's putting things in place. People calling me out of the blue I haven't talked to in years. Say, hey, I want you to do this. Hey, this is a paid gig. And then me and my wife, we started a business, a media company, where we're helping businesses get their content out. Mm-hmm. And that's growing too. So God was like, okay, this is the season I want you to step into your own business. You're going to run your own business, and also you're going to influence the teams. You're going to take the teams to the next level.
I think, for me, in this period, it's kind of more like kind of on the same lines, stepping out and doing my thing. We kind of just been talking about this over the years, just building brands and building outside of the 4 walls of ministry. And my transitions are more so picking my spots, picking my moments, knowing the right time to do certain things, being in the right places, making the right connections. I don't really feel like a lot of people think that I want to be on the main stage, but for the people that know me, like, really know I don't. Like, that's not my goal. Like, that's not even a dream. I would much rather prefer to be behind this camera right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not even that it's a comfort zone. It's something I thoroughly enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Being on this side of the camera requires me to use my face. And I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you do it well. You get up every Sunday like it's nothing.
Amen. That's prayer, bro. Like,
yeah.
That's not even learning how to do it. Like, if I tell people how nervous I get before I teach, like people wouldn't even think it's real. Like,
this is news to me. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Every Sunday my hands be smaking.
News to me.
I be pacing the room. I be thinking I be looking.
I see that. I thought I'd be thinking that's you just getting in the zone. So that's just you trying to get the nerves out. Okay. No.
No, for real. Like,
I did not know that. That's crazy.
How in one moment I could be laughing and the next moment I'd be like, y'all be like, oh, he's serious now. And you be like, no, I know my time is coming. I'm nervous. And it's never because of the crowd or the environment. It's just because I take this so serious. Like, the conversations that we have are totally different from how you see me teach.
Yeah.
And I remember when we did the burn service and he walked up to me, it was like, okay. And I knew what it meant. And I don't think a lot of other people that were standing around us knew what it meant, but I did.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And so, this does really make me nervous. Like,
I did not know that. But
commercials and stuff like that, I can do that in my sleep.
But it's crazy because obviously you had to make adjustments to like get better at it. But I would not have known that if I didn't know you and I would see you teaching the teens, I would think like you're expert at it. Because the way you lay your messages and the way they hit is like it's on another level. It's on another level.
God.
And it's funny because sometimes I'll be like, yo, that message was fire. Like that's your answer every time. That's God, bro. It's the anointing. Like I said, bro, you put it down when you get up here.
And then, see, people, I'm really telling on myself. So I get to the South, forget the whole lesson. Oh, for real.
Yeah.
In the drive, like, be like, ooh, like, time to go to the South. Forget I got to teach again. Forget the lesson. Then get to the South and be like, oh.
Let me start all over. The nerves come back.
Everything. And then it kind of get worse over there because they're a different crowd.
Yeah.
They talk back. They challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
The North is intellectual. So if it don't make sense, everybody in the crowd gonna kind of, somebody might hit you with, nah, that don't make sense. Like,
what
that mean?
You hear that in the background. What?
Huh? The South location, they more like all together like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what that mean?
They're like the Apollo.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking it back, but yeah.
I be nervous, bro.
That's news to me, man.
And the crazy thing, I'm as nervous to talk to them as I am to talk to their parents. And most people like don't know that. Like seeing them on a Sunday walking, I'm like, oh God.
Please don't say nothing. Please
So I'll speak to them.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. That's me trying to help it. And then like by the time, like when it's like 15 or 20 of them in here when we first get in here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, cool, easy Sunday. They start coming in here, I'm like, 40, 50, 60, 70. Oh, man, they here today. Okay. So that is an adjustment for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really do like to stay quiet. I talk a lot around my family, but I get in other places and I'm like,
Is where you're not the most comfortable. So let me ask you this, since we're talking about adjustments, like how did you come to making those adjustments? Because you went from I don't want to be here in the first place to okay, I got an assignment here to I got an assignment and I got to get out of my comfort zone. Like how did that come across for you?
a lot of patience. a lot of mental toughness.
Okay. Dive into that a little bit.
What, the mental toughness?
Yeah.
You know, my grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
he is,
Mental Toughness for Success. One of his books.
but to watch him teach, to watch him think, to listen to him talk, people think that is a game. That man is like that 25/8. Like the word, the faith, the patience, the like we ask him questions as grandchildren, as workers, and he answers, and it just be like, what? My grandmother, watching her love people, care for people, even when people do them wrong, like she still stands in a space of love.
Yeah.
Then my mom, she is brains and beauty. Like she gonna make sure the business is straight. She gonna get the job done. Like vision, love, business. Like, and you got Aunt Tina. And Tina is quiet, laid back, real to the back. But she got her business. She gonna come in and do what she gotta do, but Aunt Tina love her family. So there's different dynamics that I've learned from each person in my family. Mike Todd, I learned how to be comfortable in being me. I went to Transformation Church. I was watching him in this kickoff phase of him starting YouTube. I was in there. And so watching him teach, being, I don't want to say extra because that's not extra for him. That's what he is. Being himself. But to some people that is extra. And him not tainting it.
Yeah.
Because that's his witness. That spoke to me. I can be authentic with it. A lot of people don't know William Murphy on the backside has taught me a lot about dealing with church drama and not letting people dictate your response. And then really just allowing myself to grow, like adapting, really learning how to adapt to things, going through things, expressing myself, hitting my head. Like I had to adapt. I learned to do different things at different times.
Yeah.
I couldn't put it on one thing. Like it's a collection of things that's come together to make me who I am. Most importantly, though, is God. You can't beat it. You can't take it away. The creativity, the intuitiveness, the constant know-it-all, to say, hey, this is the right move. This is what we need to do. This is the direction. To communicate to other people what he lay on my heart and in my brain, that's all him. I don't know how to do that. Like, I know how to communicate what I want. But a lot of stuff that he put on my brain, I'd be like, bro, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do that.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And to be able to, at the end of the day, sit down with y'all and say, hey, this is the direction we're going. Pray, God, because I know me, I can go and play basketball all day, every day. Keep it pushing. Because that's a getaway. I don't like doing this extra thought out stuff. Like, I like to be in this box. I need to be alone. But yeah, that's kind of the basis of it all.
That sounds like a whole bunch of adjustments to me.
Oh, for sure. But then you got to deal with you dealing with people. I'm in the people business. I deal with 3 to 4 generations at one time.
Yeah.
Kids, teenagers, adults, and sometimes grandparents.
That's a lot. That's like 4 different people at one time.
So I had this thing in my head. My grandfather built the foundation for the bridge. My mom built the bridge, but I am the bridge. I am the pathway for people to go to both sides.
That's dope.
May not be the finishing touches to make it, beautiful and have the raptors and all of that, but I am the passageway for all of these generations to start understanding God together and collectively. So I take it to heart.
Yeah. And that's a great way that you put that. That's a really great way to put that too.
But that's me spending time with God, asking like, what is this?
Yeah.
Where am I going? What's the point of this? And I, think to teach the students that you can't ask a man who knows the answer to everything except that he's confused about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He know your emotions whether you tell him or not.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, are you going to be bold enough to open your mouth and say, hey, I want to know. Okay, I don't understand why you did this. Help me.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't need to understand it, but help me get through it. I didn't like every situation. There's certain situations I don't like right now. He got a reason for it. I tell him when I'm unsatisfied.
Having those real conversations with God.
I'm gonna be real with y'all and not be real with him. I don't like this. This is uncomfortable. I'm not satisfied. I don't see what you're doing. But I trust you.
That's big.
Feelings and emotions, but not doubt.
You can have feelings, you can have emotions,
but I don't doubt.
but don't doubt.
My adjustment is to not doubt. So I don't doubt what God can do. I don't limit him. I don't even try to ask him what he could do. I just tell him when I don't like what I don't like. If I'm gonna do my part, I'm gonna tell you what I don't like. It's like going to a restaurant. You may not be paying, but if I'm gonna eat it, I still would like to enjoy what I'm eating. Yeah. I don't like pickles on my sandwich. Don't put them on there. You don't have to. But just try it.
Nah.
I don't like them. And because he knows I don't like pickles, don't put them on there. Are there things that I have to grow through that he wants me to learn? Duh. Everybody know that. There's people right now that's watching this, they know that. Like, oh, I need to fix this, but I'm not going to. My thing is, I'm working on it. Yeah. But at the same time, when he's ready to truly remove that, he will do it. There is not a day that goes by where I don't ask God to reveal and remove anything that doesn't belong in my life. So, it'll go away when you need to. I got supreme trust. Like, it took a while to get here, but I got it.
What? How old are you? 26? It took you 26 years to get here.
I wouldn't say 26.
Not 26.
No, 26.
I'm just saying all this season of events that has happened along the way has gotten you to.
I think when I fully knowing and being in the understanding of if I trust him, it'll work, maybe 10. And I did it for about 4, for real. But, yeah. Okay. I didn't know it was this easy at 16. I didn't know it was this easy at 14. I I just wish I would have caught on. If I would have caught on, I would have been a billionaire.
If all of us would have caught on at 14.
But you know that.
Yeah.
If I would have caught on at 14, I'd be a billionaire right now. Like, it'd be really hard to tell me I wouldn't be. Because I just trust God, bro. Like,
yeah.
If I would have known I could have put on the canvas of my imagination at 14 to be a billionaire, and it would happen the way I was dreaming at 14 to do the stuff I'm doing now, it would happen.
Yeah. The same effort it take you to think what you thought now, or what you thought at 14, just think a little bit bigger. It's the same effort.
Exactly.
Same exact effort.
Went and played college basketball. Didn't know how I was going to get there, how that was going to happen. Happened. Exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. It's an adjustment. I made adjustments through that entire trip. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure, without a doubt, you'd have made some adjustments.
Oh.
Well, not without a doubt, because I know. But, bruh, this is not a cakewalk, bruh. Like,
not at all.
You and I both know being on this journey with God is hard, bro. Like, especially when we go outside and be like, bro, I could be what? I could be doing what and doing what and still be good. God, you sure you ain't you ain't miss something? You sure you ain't miss something when you told me something, bro? How you over there doing that, bro?
Man, I think that's another thing. Seeing other people winning when you in your
I'm glad you did what you did.
Yeah.
The winning.
Oh yeah. Because that's all it is. It looked like they win.
But I think we learned that as we started to see people behind the scenes, started to get older and be like, y'all cloud chasing. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It even, like, even in the pastor world, like, going around some of them, me, myself, and just being like, oh, you cap, bro. That is crazy, man. You really cap. Like, it's not what it seems. I'm not judging you. Talk to God. Go talk to that man.
Do what you do.
Do what you do, bro. I don't have nothing to do with that. But, I mean, I think as we kind of culminate this, we're probably going to do this a lot more. This is just easier like this. I think as we culminate this adjustment thing, it's about knowing that God's never going to lead you astray.
Mm-hmm.
When you wholeheartedly, fully commit to the things of God, God has an obligation to you.
He does.
The Bible says, meditate on my word day and night so that when you are tested, you may know what is good and pleasing. The reason why I say that is because in the seasons of adjustments, if you don't know God for who he is, you don't know how to study, you don't know his voice, you can't adjust properly. I've only looked this good because I be praying, bro. I be on the game praying, bro. People really don't believe me, bro. I be dead serious. Like, I be lost. Like, my mama want a 6-month calendar by when? She needed it in a week. You want vision for 6 months in a week? Yeah. You gotta be talking to God.
Yeah.
You got to. So, I think the biggest thing I would say is building the relationship so that the adjustment isn't on you.
Mm.
It really is you adjusting with God. How easy is it to fix a tire when you have the jack
Mm-hmm.
and when you gotta use your feet and try and jack the car by itself and take the tire off?
Yeah, that ain't gonna get done. Just letting you know, it ain't gonna get done.
I was just waiting on you to say that. I knew it wasn't gonna get it done. You can't lift no car with your foot.
Yeah, and if you do, there's something wrong with your foot.
It's steel toe.
Issues with your
muscle toe, boy, with the weights. Benching 350 with this big toe. No, and I think you can speak to it too.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting God to lead you because you are the man of your household. I have a wife, I have a daughter, a son. So, y'all talking about fire. We got bills, bruh. This is not the time for us to be figuring it out.
Yeah.
So what can you say has helped you the most to adjust?
You know what? I have to. Well,
And let me say this.
Yeah.
If it's not God, be honest.
No, I'm
to
gonna be
say
real.
it's been conversations or stuff like that.
I'm gonna be real. So I would say being obedient has been what got me through. But to be honest with you, I went through the same thing last year, just a little different. So last year I was working for a job,
I remember.
created a position at the company. They was like, we don't want you no more in that position. Go back to what you was doing. Money is different. I'm like, yo. And at this time, I'm stressing because I'm a new dad now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stressing. I'm like, oh God, what I'm gonna do? I need to find a job. I need to find this, blah, blah, blah. I was cutting God out. And God loves us and loved me so much that he put me in a predicament that grew me and groomed me and helped me. And so this time I was like, you know what, God, I want to do it different because I was stressing like crazy, unhealthy,
Right.
all kinds of stuff. Not watching my body, not just disease could form, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got me through that. And then now I'm back in this situation. So God, like, what is it that you want me to learn? Because literally the same situation came about a year later, less than a year actually.
Mm.
So what is it you're trying to teach me? My ears are open now, God. What you trying to tell me?
So do you think when you made the adjustment to say, hey, okay, I'm trying. Let me stop trying and just figure it out. What you want. Do you think it became easier?
Actually, it did. I would say it did because when you're trying to do it on your own, it's a weight that's on your shoulders. And then you got the weight of that. You got a weight of your wife looking at you like, what we gonna do? You got your son. I'm for real. And my wife, she gonna tell her like,
I know. That's why I said that. That's why I really started laughing. Yes.
So I got the weight of that. I got the weight of my wife, and then I got the weight of me being a father. Because my son himself isn't gonna put weight on me, but by me wanting to be a great father for him, that's a whole bunch of weight. And then the weight of other people saying, "Oh, you ain't a man if you ain't." Right? So it's so much weight that I'm putting on myself just because I'm trying to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've stepped back and now I'm letting God lead, He's taking on the weight. Why wouldn't I have him take the weight? He created everything that we see.
Right.
So he's able to take anything that I give to him.
Right. Yeah.
And by me giving him the weight, allowing him to hold the weight,
Mm-hmm.
now I can rest. I can have a place, I can be in a place of peace to where I'm not worried about what I see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about what situations are going on right now, because if I can just get myself to trust God and believe him, and that's what relationship takes that. You have to be in a relationship with him, communicating with him on a daily basis, hearing from him, because communication is two ways, right? You can't just talk. You can't just pray. You have to also listen. So by having that relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to hear what he has to say, and I'm able to go in the directions that he wants me to go in. And then I'm able to see, oh, I could have did this last year.
Yeah.
It's not even as bad as I thought it was.
Or what I made it out to be.
Yeah, or what I made it out to
You
be.
know what's crazy? We always overhype a situation for God to be like,
It's nothing.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's this mountain and this mountain. He's just like,
We're gonna move
mountain? That's an anthill. Get that out of here, man. You're good, bro. We sit in this space together, and so I think it's only fair that we both ask the question, what do you think it would take for our generation to get to the place of comfortability in God?
That's a good question because we try to figure it out right now. Well, I don't want to say we're trying, we're figuring it out, but I think it goes back to our responsibility and also their responsibility. So I think if we can continue doing what we're doing, share God's word, share his love, so they can actually hear it, but then it also comes to the children, the teens being able to receive it, right? And that's what takes having an open ear, saying, understanding like, okay, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to actually do it this way. Us actually being models for them, showing them, hey, I mess up all the time. I don't listen to God all the time, but I'm actually doing that now. I made this mistake back then. I'm actually doing that now. So us teaching, us being authentic and real with them, not trying to act like we the best and we always, this is God, always holy, but then also them saying, hey, I want God. Like, I want more of God. Like
having a hunger for
having a hunger for him, because that's when the door starts to open for, I'm going to allow God to come in so he can actually do this in my life.
Yeah.
So that's the answer I would give. Now, I'm going to turn around and ask you the same thing.
I would say the proof is in the pudding. I'm all about the show me. And I think that's kind of the way I move, and I do what I do. It's because I don't ever want them to be like, well, Pastor Ivan say he be doing all this and we don't see it. Like, no, they see it.
Yeah.
From the time I started to now, like, I tell them about my experiences, getting new cars, getting my chain. Like, that's a real thing. I take into account, they like, oh, you be looking like a scammer. And I'm like, okay, bro.
That's actually a real thing. Somebody actually told me that.
So I take all of that into account, but I think it shows them that it may look one way. It may seem as though it is this. But when you look at the details and the flow of my life, it's only God. I just follow God. They parents be like, oh, why are you doing all this? Proves in the pudding, man. Thank you so much for doing what you do. That's God. I don't change my answer for nobody.
Yeah.
It's not me trying to be over humble. It's just the facts. Like,
the truth. Yeah.
It's the truth. And when we on the creative side, me, I'm like, I did that, boy. You see that? That's me. Let's go. I give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
I'll never undermine God for what he do. But nah, I remember that moment because I remember I said something in that moment that is living now. I said, I don't know when this is going to happen, but when I do, I'll give it my everything.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's what I'm doing. I've adjusted to giving my everything. Whether it fails or not, I gave it everything. If I go get in a car accident tomorrow, God forbid, I know I can look God in his eyes and say, I tried my best. Even if I don't make it, I tried my best.
Yeah.
I did everything that I thought. Listening, I did everything. I tried my best. And that's just kind of how I feel. I'll make any adjustment to try my best. If I can give my best to basketball, to everything else, I can just try my best. So that's all I've been doing.
Trying your best.
Trying my best.
Making adjustments.
Thanks. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of church. I was going to say church.
Yep.
This is
Church.
the Meal Plan Podcast. You have been on here for maybe an hour with me and TRAE.
Mm-hmm.
We done had a good conversation. We're definitely going to do this more.
Yeah.
I think they just need more of these. I mean, we talked a lot about God, but we didn't use no scripture. But I think at the end of the day, like sometimes it don't require that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're so real about God, you don't have to talk about that. Like you bring enough testimony that you don't need word. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we talk from experience today.
Yeah. And this is a good kind of like side piece for church in general, because the church, you give the scriptures, you give all that. We're just having a real conversation, and that's what sometimes they need to hear.
And I think at the same time, like it don't have to be super churchy. Like, you know, that's not me either.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I give 8 scriptures on a Sunday, we really talking today. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm teaching.
Yeah.
I come in and give 2 scriptures and we really talk. Man. But I think some of those lessons are like the most impactful.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't, and I just come.
Because it connects.
And then I be getting on there. They need it though.
Yeah.
We needed it though.
Yeah.
What if we had somebody talk to us like how I talk to us? It was all Bible when it was us.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody became here like y'all in there having sex for no reason, thinking it's gonna make you feel some type of way, like we probably would be like, yeah, I really don't like her. Maybe I should stop.
She a little too much. A little too much.
I think we needed that, and so I'm just trying to get them what we wanted.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm glad to have you on the team. You make my job a lot easier.
I'm happy to be here, man. Definitely happy to be here.
Again, did you think we would be here?
Nah. Nah.
Yo.
Yeah.
You know TRAE, huh?
If I see you.
I don't want to say all their names. Okay, I was telling TRAE, he know you. I was telling TRAE that you was the purpose counselor. He was like, TRAE? I was like, yeah. He was like, TRAE. I was like, yeah. He was like, I don't believe it. I was like, bro, I swear, it's really me and TRAE. He was like, that's so crazy. I was like, hey, man.
That's God right there.
God is.
It was up to me.
God is hilarious, bruh. The people that we would have thought would have been doing this, like Jared and it's me. All right, man. It's the Meal Plan Podcast. We're gonna catch y'all next time. Y'all be safe. Like, share, comment, repost, tag your friends. Let us know what you enjoyed.
Yep.
Keep making adjustments. Don't give up on your goals, your dreams, your resolutions for the year. Don't change. Don't give up. We are faith-aligned millennials everywhere.
Yes, sir.
We out.